Welcome to this edition of Beyond the Classroom with Dr. Trina Coleman. Today we're going to be speaking with Cherissa Jackson, and she does some amazing work with her organization, Project Hope. Did I say it right?
Project Give Hope.
Project Give Hope. I left the word out. Sorry about that, HBCU Nation and Project Give Hope. Yes, Cherissa Jackson works with AMVETS, and she's very engaged in working with women veterans and STEM. So, that's right down my lane here on HBCU Nation. So she's done active duty. She's done deployments in Iraq. She's done a long list of things and won a long list of awards. So we're not going to spend all of our time talking about everything because the show would be over because she is all that. So without further ado, we're going to welcome Ms. Cherissa Jackson to Beyond the Classroom and have a conversation with her about something that's real and something that's relevant and something that affects our communities and the well-being thereof, especially with all that we give to our nation and our communities with respect to the military and particularly with Black women. So welcome to Beyond the Classroom. We've been trying to make this happen for 3-4 weeks. We making it happen this day on January something. How you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show. You are absolutely correct. We've been trying to make this happen. I'm so glad today is the day. I'm so happy to be here to talk to you about women veterans in the military, all branches, some of the great works that we're doing, some of the great work that AMVETS is doing, and of course, my Project Give Hope in the back.
Yes. You're all branded up. I'm loving it. Yeah. So tell us a little bit, first of all, what does AMVETS stand for? I think it stands for American Veterans, but I'm just guessing.
Yes, it does. It does stand for American Veterans. So you score, you got it right. We're one of the big six veteran service organizations. So most people are familiar with the Wounded Warriors, DAV, VFW, particularly in the military community. So we're
my God, y'all have so many acronyms. Woo!
So, of course, DAV is Disabled American Veterans. Wounded Warriors, that's Wounded Warriors. VFW is Vietnam Foreign Wars. And so there's just a slew of different veteran service organizations, but we're part of the big six. There are thousands of different military organizations, but we're the big six that really advocate on the Hill. AMVETS is the most inclusive veteran service organization. So unlike those others, like Wounded Warriors, you got to be wounded. Disabled, American veterans, you got to be disabled. We're the most inclusive. And so which is why I chose them, because I want to represent all types of veterans. And so it was a good fit. It was a natural fit for me.
Well, that's great. So you were active duty, and then you retired, or you left the service? You retired?
Yeah, I
old enough to be retired.
I retired after 23.5 years of working.
Well, congratulations, and thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you so much.
How'd you get from retirement to Project Give Hope?
Yeah, so I retired back in 2013, and I knew I wanted to continue to give service back to the community. So not only do I, provide service to veterans, but I am a nurse still, and I work at a laparoscopic hysterectomy and myomectomy practice, which is all about women's health. Yes. And so I went to Africa back in 2017, and I did a medical mission there, and I felt as though the mission was not complete. So I came back and I decided to create my own nonprofit for Africa, i.e. Project Hope. And I wanted to give hope back to those women in Africa, particularly when it comes to cervical cancer. Uganda is where I went, and it is, if you do the research, out of all the countries in Africa, Uganda has the highest incidence of cervical cancer. Wow. And so I did my research. I discovered that I could go back and work in the capacity of a nurse in order to help treat women with precancerous lesions. And so I discovered this device called the thermocoagulator, in which we're able to eradicate a precancerous lesions on the cervix in 20 seconds.
All right, time out right there.
Yeah.
HBCU Nation, did you just hear what she said? She developed a device. That's why we are now expanding our reach to HBCU Smart TV, because we need people like Cherissa Jackson talking to us about the things that matter. And plus bonus, she is creating devices to help eradicate some of the things that impact Black women. Proceed. I just had to put that.
So basically, the device itself is handheld, battery operated.
Mm-hmm.
It's great for rural communities. So not only am I using this device in Africa, but I'm looking to make those connections here in the U.S., in the rural areas that can't or don't have insurance, that we're able to provide a service to women. Cervical cancer is one of those diagnoses that, if it's caught in time, we can really save women's lives. So when we do our exams and we notice that there's a precancerous lesion, we eradicate it right then and there. We don't tell them to come back and come back in a few weeks. Wow. We treat them on the spot. We call it the one-stop shop. So you come, we see you, and then we treat you, and then you come back for follow-up. So I did that in Africa in 2018. It was a huge success. I worked at one of the cervical cancer screening centers in Uganda, and I actually gifted one of the devices to the center so they can continue to treat women in Uganda. It was a $1,500 device. So my project, it actually raised money in order to purchase this device and give it to that center. And they're still using it to this day. And I'm so grateful I was able to go.
I'm grateful that you were able to go too. And I'm also grateful that you stood up because you saw a need and started to do something about it, because there are so many places where there are disparities, there's need, and there are easy fixes. And I'm not saying that what you do is easy, but what I'm saying is that there was a solution available for that need and you provided it. So I just commend you for that. Now, you can't be doing all this by yourself, Project Hope. I know you were in the military and deployed and you had weapons and all that stuff, but come on now, tell me how you get it done. Where's your support team?
Let me tell you, my support team is very, very small. It's only myself and my health consultant, Shanika Hellam. She actually is a Howard University alum. And she came on board last year to be my health consultant, and she's a nurse practitioner.
Shout out to the other HU. Proceed.
She is actually an alum, like I said, of Howard University. She's currently at George Mason University in her D&P program. So she should have her doctorate degree this May. So another female, another African-American, another woman in health, women's
and another woman worthy of HBCU Smart TV.
Of
yes.
course. And so she joined our team last year, and it's just she and I. I have a couple of nurses and doctors. When it's time to do the mission, if they're available, they will go with us. But she and I are the anchors to Project Give Hope. We welcome others who are interested in the project. We want someone who's passionate about women's health, who has the time to be able to obligate to all of the presentations that she and I do. Tanzania and I, we just got back from Harvard University last summer. We presented at Harvard Medical School, Project Give Hope, and we got such, recommendations and people coming asking, how can we support you guys? And so it was a great experience to be welcomed and asked. They had 1,500 applicants, and they chose Project Give Hope to present at Harvard Medical School. So two little Black girls, doing things that most people would have only imagined they could do here in the U.S. So I so appreciate that opportunity.
Absolutely. Hashtag Black Girls Rock.
Black Girls Rock.
That is correct. So when we come back to Beyond the Classroom, we're going to take a short break right now. We're going to continue our conversation with Cherissa Jackson, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the awards that her organization and herself personally have been awarded in the last, we're going to have to cut you down to the last year or two.
Okay.
We could not cover them all, but your work is so profound and people are recognizing and noticing it. So we'll be right back to Beyond the Classroom. HBCU Nation, this is Dr. Trina Coleman, host of Beyond the Classroom. Now, if you caught an episode of Beyond the Classroom on HBCU Smart TV, You may have seen me doing some of this because I love coffee. I am always drinking coffee, particularly when I'm doing interviews. So if you want to see your mug up here with your logo of your company, organization, or whatever, you just want to see your face on Beyond the Classroom and let the thousands of other people that are watching Beyond the Classroom see your logo associated with your business or organization, then go to our Facebook page, HBCU Smart TV, and leave us a message. We'll get back to you and let you know what next steps are. You can also go to Beyond the Classroom's Facebook page at btc.stem, btc.stem. Leave us a message, post it on the page, say, I want to see my logo on Beyond the Classroom. And I want all the other thousands of people that are watching on Smart TV to see it too. All right? And you know what? I love my coffee, so there will always be a mug in my hand. Welcome back to Beyond the Classroom. We're going to continue our conversation with Cherissa Jackson, and she's going to talk to us about some of the awards that her organization has won, and she's also going to talk to us about her work with Black women, veterans, and STEM. So, welcome back. And let's talk about those awards. Tell us about the big, most prestigious awards you've been awarded, because I saw you in your ball gown.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you. So this past weekend, it was the VETties. It is the American Veterans Award. It's like the Oscar when it comes to the veteran community, and my organization, AMVETS, and the actual program that I run called the HEAL program that I manage, called the HEAL program. HEAL stands for Healthcare Evaluation, Advocacy, and Legislation. So veterans call into our HEAL line in order to get resources, in order for us to help them in those categories. Okay. So the HEAL program has not been around very long. It's only been around less than 2 years. Okay. And so when we saw our nomination and who we were in the category with, we just knew we weren't going to win the award. And so, of course, I was on the front row, me and my boss, Mr. Sherman Gillums Jr., shout out to him. He and I were sitting next to each other, and we were like, there's no way. You know, we're with these heavy hitters. The program hasn't been around a long time. We knew we had done some great work because President Trump actually talked about our program at our convention, our national convention last year. But we were just like, yeah, we don't know if we're going to win. But sure enough, they called our name. We were stunned. I had not.
And y'all did like this for real?
Yeah. Yes, I had not prepared a speech, and so everything was just extemporaneous when I got on the stage. And basically, you know, we thanked everyone that has been supporting the program. It's been doing phenomenal. We have a slogan called 600 and 0. We've helped over 600 veterans with 0 suicides. And so I think that was the punch that kind of propelled us to actually win the award. But it was probably the most prestigious award that I have won since I've gotten out the military. And of course, like you said, I've done others. You know, I've been awarded the top 25 women you should know when it comes to post-traumatic stress. Won the 2016 Daily Record Award for my project. And so the list goes on and on and on. But Betty's was definitely the best one. It's heavy, it's beautiful, it's nice. And so, yeah, that would be the one that I would say I would treasure the most.
Well, congratulations. And, you know, for you to describe it like that and say, like, it's like the Oscars of the veteran world, of the medical fields for veterans is amazing. And so what do you do to top that?
I don't know. To continue to you know, create new campaigns, create new programs, do whatever we can do to save the lives of veterans. I mean, that's what we're all about, is saving the lives of veterans. And we know, in fact, that the women veterans is a population that is a great focus for us, because we know women veterans don't usually identify themselves as veterans. So they are not getting the resources that they need. They're not getting the help that they need, which is why we have an emphasis, and one of our initiatives is all about women veterans.
Well, how do you find them? How do they find you? How do you get your clientele? How do they know about Project Give Hope or HEAL? How do you find it?
Yeah, so with HEAL, you can just go to anvets.org and look
Mhm.
up the HEAL program. We're all over the internet, but anvets.org would be the way to go. If anyone
Okay.
out there needs help, mental health resources, if you're a veteran, particularly a woman veteran, and you need help, we're here for you. Project Give Hope, you can go to projectgivehope.org. You can hear about all the things that I've done. You can see pictures of when we went to Africa, and all of that is on that website. If you want to contribute in some way, if you want to be a part of the team, if you want to help us purchase these devices so we can take with us, we're looking to expand this year. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, projectgivehope.org and amvets.org.
There you go. There you go. All right. So, Cherissa, let's talk about African American women veterans and the STEM outreach work that you do. And what's your goal as far as working with the African American women veterans, and how is that coming along? Let's talk about some STEM.
Yeah, good. So I've been reading a lot of articles that says that a lot of women are not in STEM and in
Mhm.
STEM programs, and I couldn't figure why not. I mean, I'm a nurse, so I mean, so that's part of
I'm
STEM.
a physicist. I don't get it either,
I
Cherissa.
don't get it. I don't get it. And so then I read articles that, hey, there's not a lot of women veterans that are in STEM. I'm just like, we're
Mhm.
smart. We had to take all of those tests. Why can't we be in STEM? And so around about the Christmas holidays, I thought of an idea to actually create a STEM program or connect, women veterans to different STEM programs across the country. And
Mhm.
so what I'm doing now is actually recruiting different STEM programs that want to have women veterans in those seats. And the
Okay.
idea would be for my organization, for the HEAL program, to actually be the recruiting agent for
Okay.
those STEM programs across the country. Because I know with AMVETS, we have a large membership across the country, and we have a large reach as far as our followers. So
Mhm.
it'll be, very easy for us to be able to request or get applications or for applicants in different STEM programs across the country. So I just thought of the idea to be that matchmaking service to
Mhm.
STEM programs out here that want women veterans
Mhm.
in their programs. And so I thought of the idea. Right now, we're looking for different STEM programs across the country who like the idea. We're looking for women veterans who are interested in the STEM program. Our
Okay.
thought is not only are we going to match them to a STEM program across the country, but we're also going to offer mentorship. One of the things a lot of women veterans have said is that after they get out the military, they have no mentorship. They're kind of lost in the civilian world, if you will. And so our STEM program will allow women veterans to get that mentorship that they have been asking for. We'll
Mhm.
also match them to different companies across the US. We're hoping companies like the Googles and the Facebooks and the Amazons and all of those big companies that want women in STEM, they will reach out to us and be partners and collaborate with us. So we'll do
Mhm.
the job matching and the job placements with these companies after the women complete their STEM program. And last but not least, the best part of it all, we'll continue to follow them a year after they finish their STEM program. So we know how successful it is. We'll know if we need to tweak it a little bit, some
Mhm.
changes that we need to make. The goal is for every woman veteran who decides to go through our program and gets matched with the best fit for them out there, that they're successful. They complete it because
Mhm.
this helps eliminate the unemployment issue that we see in the women veteran population. It'll help eliminate or decrease the suicide rate because women are unemployed, they become homeless, and of course it becomes that downward spiral, which a lot of women choose to commit suicide. So it
Wow.
will touch a lot of bases if we can get women in STEM. They'll increase their income,
Mhm.
better output for their families, and it'll just all around be the best thing for women veterans. And so this is what we're looking to do. We're looking for participation from the community
Mhm.
and companies and schools.
Mhm.
We need everything to make this happen. It's a huge launch for a little small program called the HEAL program. But if we can win a Betty, I think we can make
Yeah.
this HEAL program work.
I think you can too, and I know that there's a huge issue with respect to the skills gap. So being a part of a STEM program or pursuing a STEM career requires that background foundational stuff, the basic math stuff, and all of that stuff to get you through a particular program. So you guys are looking for organizations and trying to fit each woman, not trying to find a one size fits all.
Absolutely not.
Which is commendable, because a lot of people try to do that. They're like, okay, we have some veterans over here. Okay, you have a check. Okay, let's put them together, give them the check, and keep it moving. That doesn't help a whole lot if you don't know or have the resources available, not financially, but services and expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Then, what are you achieving other than, putting a Band-Aid, a small Band-Aid on something, maybe at best. So,
yeah.
So you guys have a large reach, like you said. You're plugged into AMVETS. You got your blinged out award, which pretty dress. That'll make it happen. That will make it happen. But seriously, the suicide rate is something that I need you to stay undefeated in that category. We're gonna keep that and O. Right now you said 600 and O.
Yeah.
6,000 and O.
You know what? And I want that. I want
it for you.
These veterans need that. And we've won the Vetties for the mental health category, right? And so basically we created, AMVETS, and my HEAL program created a suicide prevention online program. I mean, that's how serious we are about it. We sat down, me and my boss, Sherman Gillens Jr., and we nailed all of the scenarios for the training. And so we are actually pushing out that suicide prevention training. So not only do veterans take it, but the community as a whole can take it. And we continue to lead the charge on veteran suicide. We went to Colorado a few months ago in order to become ASSIST trainers. And ASSIST stands for Assisted Suicide Intervention Skills Training. And now we are trainers who can teach the community how to intervene if there's a suicide crisis. And so our program keeps growing. We keep integrating, new programs that can help veterans and the community. We'll be actually doing ASSIST training, which is the 2-day training with Montgomery County cops, with Montgomery County firefighters. The talks with the PG County cops and firefighters. So it's not just about veterans. It's about a community crisis that we see is happening. And now AMVETS and my HEAL program can go out there and do something about it. And we want to continue that fight, because women veterans are 2.5 times more likely to commit suicide compared to their civilian counterparts. That's crazy.
That is crazy. So what type of support do you guys have for like family members, spouses of veterans that may be suffering from PTSD or another type of mental, I'll call it a episode, or something that occurred because of, being in combat or being, in the military? So how do you help the families deal or identify that something is wrong?
Yeah, and that's a great question, because one of the things that the HEAL program does is we connect family members, we connect the veterans to resources in the community. Of course, we will encourage the veteran to definitely get enrolled in veteran affairs in the VA, because the VA has those therapists and they have those treatment options available to the veterans. And now there's so many outreaches and programs that are free that's available to spouses, to the children of these veterans that's also suffering. So it's not just about the veteran. We also connect the spouses and the children to resources in the community as well with our HEAL program.
That's amazing. And I'm assuming that you guys also have some level of interface to help the veterans that may be in need of having, a disability claim filed or something like that. You guys work with them on that level as well?
Absolutely. Within the AMVETS organization, we have a benefits and claims department. So if there's a veteran out there who hasn't filed a claim, feels as though his issues are service connected, he can definitely reach reach out to us and we can help them with their claims process. If there's a veteran who feels as though he didn't get the right compensation, or his percentage isn't the percentage he thought he should get, and there needs to be a reevaluation or need to be an appeal to that, we can also help the veteran with that. So yes, absolutely, they can reach out to AMVETS and we can help them with that.
Yeah, because I think that not a lot of people know where to go and look for information. Most veterans start with the VA, and they may need to start with your organization, or I was going to say, or one like it. No, they want to start with your organization and then
start with AMVETS.
Yeah, start with AMVETS, and then, get the guidance and assistance that they need, because there are a lot of people out here, civilians, that may have not served a day. Some of them have, but there are these private companies that are helping people file claims and stuff like that. But you guys have a vested interest. You're passionate about it. You're doing it because it's not for the profit. You're doing it to help the veteran out. So.
Absolutely. And they can reach out to us at the HEAL program at 1-833-VET-HEAL if they just wanted to call us, or if they wanted to email us. I mean, we're out there and available, and you are absolutely correct. We are vested. We're in the best interest. We're doing what we can for the best interest of the veteran. So we're not doing it for ourselves. Right. We're doing it for the veteran, right? And
there we go. Motion sensor. Same time as
you were too.
I didn't do it that time.
I know you did.
But yeah, so you guys are not doing it for profit. You are doing it for compassion and passion. And there's a need. There's a gap. There's so many gaps, and especially in our African American communities. The Black community sometimes is like just not informed, and it's not by accident all the time.
Yeah.
So having advocates for them, especially when a lot of people go into the military because they don't see another path for themselves after high school or whatever. Yeah. And the military is an easy, definite job as long as you meet those minimum criteria. Yeah. So if it's not a good fit for them and they have to come out before they retire, then they're kind of just out there with whatever they learned as a soldier or whatever. But then it's like, well, what do I do with myself? Because they go from being at home to being an adult and not knowing how to function in society. It's almost, I'm not going to compare it to being incarcerated in a negative way, but structure is there for them while they're in the military. Yeah. If they have no structure, then it's like, oh dang, what? Where do I go? How do I move forward? Yeah. Post service time.
And I think that's a good point, because one of the things that we find in the veteran community is that transition, that a lot of veterans say they didn't have a good transition into the civilian community. And I can even
you use one word to sum up what I said in like 2 minutes. Transition. That was what I was basically saying. How do they go from one place to the next? Yes, you are with us here on Beyond the Classroom with Dr. Trina Coleman. Our guest is I'm gonna get it right.
Cherissa. Sounds like Teresa.
Oh, see, there we go. Thank you, Cherissa. Just say it for me. I'm gonna say Miss Jackson. Mrs. Jackson. Anyway, we are here speaking with her about AMVETS and veterans transitions from the military to civilian life. And we're talking about healthcare. We're talking about STEM, workforce development. No, I hate that term. We're talking about improvement upon your baseline skills. That's what I'm going to start calling workforce development, because I hate that term. Yeah. So, yes, we're going to improve upon their baseline skills. Yeah. So you are located where?
Our headquarters is located in Lanham, Maryland. That's where the headquarters is, but AMVETS has posts across the country. So you can find AMVETS locations on the website. So if there's someone in need of help and they just want to know about our resources, our events, and things of that nature, they can certainly look for a local post or just contact our headquarters, which is right there in Lanham, Maryland.
I could have come up there and done the interview with you in person.
You could have, but I still like the comforts of my home, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. I am not mad at you for that.
I couldn't have brought my Project Give Hope banner if you had told me to come to headquarters.
Okay, we make it do what it do.
I appreciate
on HBCU.
Absolutely.
So yes. So look though. So you help veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Help veterans spouses. You are doing healthcare. You're a nurse, and wow, what do you do for fun? I mean, is that your fun?
Oh my God. Well, you know, I tell
see you
people,
have your little baseball and your sports jerseys up there. They're taking up more space than the banner. So I'm like, she likes the sports better. Project Give Hope. So
I had to place my banner somewhere because I do Instagram lives. And so that was the wall that didn't have anything on it. So that's why I put the banner there. But you know, for fun, let me tell you, right? I'm so passionate about veterans. I'm so passionate about women's health, and my joy really comes from, you know, having a veteran just say thank you for what you've done for me. Thank you for getting me connected. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me on the phone because I'm having a breakdown or I'm having a crisis. And the same thing for women's health. When I go overseas and I'm looking at these women who just is so grateful and thankful that we took our time to come and serve them. That gives me joy, and that's my passion. But, you know, on the flip side of that, I know I have to do work-life balance. And so I exercise a lot. You know, I'm in the gym several times a week. I'm about to launch a campaign for veteran suicide here in a little bit. I'm not going to disclose it today, but it does include exercise. And maybe you'll have me back on the show to talk about it.
Oh boy, that was a setup. Yes, of course.
That's always a setup. That's always a setup.
Yeah, we're going to do a face-to-face next time at the gym. How about that?
Yes, I would love to do that. And that campaign is truly about bringing awareness to suicide. And we'll be launching that here shortly. But yeah, exercise, meditation. With someone like myself who does have post-traumatic stress, I mean, how could I not, after being deployed 3 times to combat, twice to Iraq and once to Afghanistan as a nurse and seeing the things that I saw. So I use meditation, my spirituality, exercise. Those are things that keep me grounded. I have a very supportive family. So they're very understanding that I'm like a little Energizer bunny. I got to go, go, go. And when they see me add too much to my plate, they'll ring me in and say, okay, you need to take one of those things off your list. But it's truly because I have this passion just to make my mark and create this legacy of doing great work. And it's not about the accolades. It's not about the awards. It's about the work that I do. And as long as it's impactful, that's all that matters to me. Right. And that's my drive now, is to do projects that's impactful. And that's just who I am. And I'll do it until, you know, God says I can't do it anymore.
Yes. And you and I have been having a very lighthearted conversation about a very serious topic, but I know that you're passionate about it. And I think that your spirit, you know, shows that you are the right person to do this because you see the benefits and because though you've been through the experiences that you've had with the deployments and things like that, and you have also been very open about the fact that you suffer from PTSD as well, but at the same time, you found a way to have a positive outlook and a positive attitude about, you know, the work that you do and optimism and all of those things that a lot of people lose if they had it after they come back from deployments and things like that. So, you
know, I had to, because, you know, I came back after those deployments. I was a single mom of twin daughters. So I didn't have time to be all downtrodden, woe is me. And I still had to work, you know, as an ICU nurse, taking care of these same soldiers. So I didn't have time to you know, kind of get depressed. I just kept it moving. It caught up with me later, of course. But in that time, I was focused on getting my daughters through school, getting them off to college. They're both college graduates. One is a nurse, the other one is a business administration project manager. So I did all those things, even though I sacrificed myself, to the good of my daughters, to the good of the military, to the good of the soldiers that I took care of, which to me, at the end of the day, having to deal with my symptoms, which I finally, you know, found that master that master plan, that treatment plan that worked for me, it was so worth it. I mean, I actually wrote a book. It's called At Peace, Peace, not Pieces, because I wanted people to realize that yes, you can have a mental health disorder, but you don't have to be broken. You don't have to be in pieces.
Right.
And that women and men and those who are suffering with mental health, they need to know that it's okay to not be okay. And once I realized that, I was like, I can give a care less. Who knows if my story is going to help somebody else? That's all that matters. And so I disclosed my PTSD to Prevention Magazine, to Forbes. I mean, I've been on multiple talk shows and things of that nature, but those things didn't matter. I wanted the message to get out there that we all can be at peace, not in pieces, by just realizing that it's okay to not be okay, and that we're all each other's brothers and sisters keeper. I know that's from New Jack City, but I love it. We are all each other's brothers.
Except for the part when they weren't keeping each other anymore.
Exactly. Until the part they weren't keeping each other no more. But that has such a profound meaning when we are looking to be each other's brother and sister's keeper, that says, I got you.
I got you.
And that's important.
It is. And to share a little bit with you and my audience, I'm doing the same thing. I am my sister's keeper. I am her guardian. She's my younger sister. And I'm her caregiver because she has an illness that can't be cured. Yeah. And she has MS. And so she is at the point where she needed to be kept.
Yeah.
So I keep her. And I am, I feel this is like monumental. This is probably the thing that I am most proud of that I've done in my life.
Wow.
I have the credentials, I've had the career, I've had the experiences and things like that. But being able to make sure that she's safe and warm and getting the best health care she can get. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, being my sister's keeper. And if more people had that attitude, we'd be in a whole different type of world, a different space, different experiences. I mean, giving back, not just to your immediate family, but giving back in general. And if you have some way that you can help somebody, help them. And, but a lot of people don't want to help them because they feel like it's taking away something from themselves. It's not, it's actually adding value to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all the things that you're doing to add value to other people and at the same time adding value to yourself because you are so passionate about it, it's awesome. You're the type of guest that we look forward to have on HBCU Smart TV.
Well, I'm so glad that we found each other and I'm to be on the show.
Absolutely.
It's all about being human too. If you tap into that human touch and say, on a daily, who can I help?
Right.
Whose life can I change today? It could be something very small. I mean, even, saying hello, saying thank you to the janitor, saying thank you to the garbage man, just saying thank you to somebody to open your door.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh my God. Yeah. Just the simple things or just a smile. You will never know how much just smiling at somebody that looks downtrodden, looks heavy, looks depressed will do to somebody. You don't have to know their story. Just give them a smile. And I feel as though if the world did that, we would definitely be in a different place. I believe we can all come together to tackle the suicide crisis by being human. And given the time to be able to let someone explain to you what they're going through, you don't have to be an expert but just listen. Sometimes people just need to put it out there and you just listen and then you react accordingly. And we can all probably save not only kids, children, first responders, firefighters, veterans by just having that humanity and being able to listen.
Yeah, let me ask you your thoughts on this one.
Yeah.
Why do we as humans, Americans, whatever, look at mental health with such a stigma? I mean, if your heart is broken or needs some work, you are running to the cardiologist real quick. Yeah. Your high blood pressure is up, you're going to get medication and treatment.
Yeah.
I mean, kidneys, lungs, whatever.
Yeah.
The brain is an organ.
Yeah.
Just like the rest of the organs.
Yeah.
it's going to malfunction at
Yeah.
some time for some people, maybe for all of us. But, you know, there will be a need for help, particularly for that demographic that you serve.
Yeah.
Why? And even, I don't even know. I don't want to stereotype it and say especially Black people, but I'm just going to say, why do people in general feel apprehensive to talk to someone related to their mental state?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's that stigma. People think that they're going to be stigmatized by being weak and you should be able to handle it. For example, in the military, that was such an issue for me. Disclosing that I had post-traumatic stress because I was a officer, a stellar nurse, and I didn't want to appear weak or I couldn't cope. I mean, because we were always operating on that high level as officers. And so I think in the veteran community, a lot of veterans don't disclose or they don't go and get help because they don't want to appear weak. But you know what? It's not even appearing weak. You're actually showing that you're strong by going to find help and tell someone that you're going through a crisis and admitting to it. I think in the Black community, to be honest with you, you know, growing up in an old Southern Baptist, you know, home, we used to hide Uncle Pete back in that back closet, and we know Uncle Pete had some issues. And
Uncle Pete was the guy on Soul Food, right?
I had Uncle Pete too.
Did you? Yes, I think his name was Uncle Pete.
Uncle Pete, yes. And so, you know, we did want to talk about it, right? Or we called them crazy.
Yes, that's what I want to talk about next. But go ahead.
Yes. We put our own titles on mental health, which is totally wrong. So therefore, we go through this period of thinking, oh, Uncle Pete's crazy. Or you hear somebody that says that they're hearing noises and they're talking to themselves. Oh, she crazy. Well, you know, we have to stop labeling people as
myself.
Yes. So we have to stop labeling people because we're creating that type of distinction in our own community. So if we want to eliminate that stigma, if we can certainly do that by stop labeling people as crazy. So then people are free to say, yes, I got a little something. I'm going through a little something. Let me go and talk with a psychiatrist. Let me go and talk to a psychologist and let me get a treatment plan that works for me and not be afraid to do that. It's not a show of weakness. It's actually a show of strength and perseverance. Because to be able to deal with mental health and you try and deal with it on your own, the tenacity to do that every single day, to get up if you know you're depressed and you got kids you got to take care of, you got to go to work. I mean, that's a lot. And then when you finally break, which you shouldn't get to your breaking point, but when you finally break and you have to go and get help, that's what's important. And that's what people should focus on, not being weak, a stigma, or being labeled crazy.
Yes, and crazy, that's the word I want to talk about. What is that anyway? Crazy is something completely different from having PTSD or bipolar or anything. A lot of those things are chemical imbalances. Back into what my analogy was with blood pressure and the heart and all those things. You have a clogged artery, you get a stent if you don't have a heart attack first. Your blood pressure's off, you get medication. You have kidney issues, if they're serious, you get dialysis. There's a treatment for everything. And so being labeled by someone who's not even qualified to put a label on what people have. I mean, random relative, friend, stranger, whatever. To say crazy. Crazy is something other than, and crazy technically and insane are two different things. I mean, I don't even know that crazy is a thing. Insanity is a thing.
And I think people need to realize what PTSD is. Let's break that down. That's post-traumatic stress. It's a trauma, right? That's what it is. You don't get PTSD because you think you're crazy or you should be labeled crazy. PTSD happens because of a trauma. Right? It's a trauma that you can't get rid of. It's a thought, it's a smell, it's a sound that keeps resonating in you and has you rethinking, going back into that experience over and over and over again until it consumes you.
Yes.
And you have to figure out, well, what do I need to do in order to work effectively, be my best self? And if you're consumed with these thoughts, these smells, these sounds, you have to sometimes get a little help to be able to help you cope with that. That's what post-traumatic stress is from a trauma. It could be a trauma of rape. It can be a trauma of an accident. It can be any type of trauma that has you stuck in that space. And when people realize what that is, you can't label that crazy.
No.
You label that what it is. Someone experienced the trauma and they need help coping with that trauma. Yes,
it's a life event. That's
exactly.
That's what it is. And my husband's stepfather passed. It's been about 15 years or more, but his brother was deployed at the time. And so he came home. He got leave to come home to Virginia. But when my husband picked him up from the airport, he saw a man of, descent from the Middle East, and he instinctively reached for his waistband to reach for a gun. I mean, in the airport in Norfolk, that's that type of thing I assume falls under that trauma. And that, and he had to go back. But, when he made that connection immediately, okay, this guy is the enemy. Yeah. And I need to protect myself and whoever, his brother, troops, or what, from the enemy. So he instinctively reached for his side piece. Yeah. So, I mean, sidearm, not side piece.
It's a piece. It's a side piece.
Okay, side piece. There we go. So, yeah, how do you, once again, I mean, helping somebody help their loved ones. I think that what I'm at this point right now, if I know anybody who needs that type of help or whatever, I'm just pointing them right to you. Yeah. And say, look, you need to contact AMVETS and they can help you, and they want to help you. Absolutely. They're not just another government bureaucratic entity. Yeah. They're there to help.
Yeah. Contact the HEAL program. We're there for them.
Right. And I think this is an important interview for our demographic, for my constituency, for my listeners on HBCU Nation, because we have a veteran. We Black folks have a large pool of veterans. I can't even think of anybody right now, right off the cuff, that I actually know that hasn't served. Wow. I know some people, but most of the people that I come into contact with have served at some point. Yeah. Plus, I've talked to a lot of older people hang out, but they did Vietnam. They did some, version of the Iraqi freedom or the Desert Storm or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. When I was on Marriage One, my husband got deployed. He was a reservist. Yeah. But then next thing I know, he's at Dover. Yeah. He worked on the cargo planes. Oh, wow. Served time. But those are also the planes that bring in the caskets.
Yeah. The C-17s.
Yeah. So that type of stuff touches all of us, but be it directly or indirectly.
Yeah, I agree. And I thank you for sharing that, only because you'll be amazed at how many people don't have that connection with the military. I mean, though we're right here in the DMV, we have all of these military bases, all of these military departments. You'll be amazed how many people are not connected to military, can't even touch a military person in their family. Wow. So you're having conversations with people and they have never heard or don't even know anybody that's military, you can see the look in their faces like, oh my God, you did what? And you're doing what? And it's like, yeah, how do you not be connected to the military? But, when you look at the scope of how many veterans we have out here, it's possible. A lot of us are in the rural communities. In the rural communities, that's where the worst situations where mental health is, because you're isolated and you have that camaraderie that you're used to, and you're so used to your battle buddy, and oftentimes it's in those rural communities that mental health really takes a toll, and we have to reach out and touch those guys as much as we can, which is why AMVETS is always doing things that are post. So we know of a veteran that is out there and they need to put a pulse on him or her. That's what they do. That's why I created the Rose events. Rose stand for Respect Our Sheroes Experiences. I did one back in November during Veterans Day weekend because I wanted women to feel like they are the warriors and the brave soldiers that they are. And normally during Veterans Day weekend, you don't have somebody celebrating women veterans. And so I created the Rose Dinner where I actually found sponsors to pay for all of the food, all of the entertainment, all of the jewelry that we gave these women at the Rose Dinner at Busboys and Ports in Arlington. Let me tell you, these women came in and they showed up and showed out. They had no idea what they were going to experience. I made it so beautiful with the roses, and every detail was about making them feel special. So when they walked into that space, they were automatically taking pictures like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this and this is free. It was free to them. It wasn't free to me because I had sponsors, but I wanted to do it for them because they deserve it. And I will never forget this one lady. We were doing interviews afterwards. This one veteran, she said, it's about time somebody thought about us.
Wow.
And it almost brought me to tears because I was just, it was just easy for me to say, let's create an event for women veterans and let it be about us talking about our stuff, and inspiring them and motivating them. And we had a panel discussion talking about our topic so we can share and bond. And for her to say, it's about time somebody thought about us, I knew I was doing the right thing. So we're doing another Rose event, March 21st. It's going to be in Hampton Roads, Virginia.
I was just about to go there because that's where I am right now. Proceed.
Proceed. So it's going to be March 21st. Instead of calling it a Rose dinner, we're going to call it a Rose brunch. And basically it's going to be from 8 until 12:30. We'll do the same thing. I'm out here looking for sponsors who can help me pay for the Marriott. We got to get the food. We got to get the entertainment. Anybody in your network that's looking to support this type of event for women veterans. And this time, unlike the first, we're asking the spouses to come because it's important that the spouses understand what the woman veteran is going through. And so we'll have breakout sessions where we'll talk to the spouses of those women veterans. But the same thing, entertainment, food, we're giving them gifts, lots of love.
Make some calls for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking for a celebrity. So if you know of a celebrity that's willing to help me out, let us know.
Y'all better reach out to Pharrell or something in the water.
Let me tell you, I've been trying to reach out to as many. I know these guys, they all have their philanthropy arm. And this is
from Virginia Beach. I mean,
this is my thing. This is so my thing. We serve our country. And some of us come back whole. Some of us don't come back home. You have organizations like AMVETS that's doing great work. If you're not in our space, then you wouldn't know the work that we're doing. However, when you have celebrities that have the capacity and the ability to help us help veterans, it's hard to connect with them because then when we do connect with them, then it makes sense. It's like, oh, where y'all been? We've been here doing this kind of work, but how do we get through your gatekeepers to say to you, can we have a talk? Can we talk to you about what we're doing? Because we need people like you to help us elevate our programs so that we can help veterans, particularly women veterans.
That's the problem. And, and I see that as well. We have our challenges on the HBCU Nation, and there's plenty of news out there about celebrities that donate way big old checks to non-HBCUs. And some of the HBCUs get money, of course, but not many. And so I get what you're saying about trying to get to them, get through to them and all of that stuff. But yeah, I commend you also for coming on down here. I was going to mention to you that I think a lot of me and my experiences and saying, I can reach out and touch a veteran anywhere, anytime. I'm married to, both of my husbands are veterans. Former husband and current. And my best friend, I have two best friends that are veterans. And being here in Hampton Roads, the home of the birthplace of the military.
Yes.
Did the Army, the Air Force.
Yes.
We have the Coast Guard. We
Yes.
have the Navy SEAL.
You have the Navy.
We have Eustis. You know,
Yeah.
we have. I mean, golly gee, there's probably more military people here than civilians.
Yeah.
So coming here is going to be pretty cool, and I'm coming to the thing.
Yeah, I was going to say it'll be great for you to come. It's on the 21st, so that's a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we want as many people as possible. When I did the event here in Arlington, we had 150 people sign up, but the venue can only hold 100. So my goal this time is not to have to put somebody on the waiting list, not to turn anybody away, but we need people to sign up. When this announcement goes out, and people need to register, we want Hampton Roads to show up. I'm hoping between 150, 200 people will show up, because that's what I'm planning for. And they're going to want this information. They're going to want to feel this energy and this camaraderie within the women veteran community. And to put this effort that my program is putting into it and AMVETS is putting into it, we want the masses to come out in Hampton Roads. And yes, of course, if you wanted to do an on-the-spot show, and do it right there on the spot and interview some of those women veterans. Let me tell you, you have a line. They'll be like, let me tell you this, and let me tell you that.
They can tell their stories, and that would be amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, that's what we do. We need to make our stories aware, regardless of what our story is. Everybody's is unique. Yeah. But to be able to talk to some of those women and mothers, they're mothers. Yeah. You know, the fathers, they're fathers too, but you know, it's not the same thing. They didn't have to do the birthing and the nurturing and all of that stuff with the child while they were in their military service. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys coming here, and I'm also, you know, I'm just ecstatic, and I'm not a veteran, but I feel you. I'm a woman. And I know that, you know, women go through challenges anyway. Black women go through challenges anyway, but I cannot fathom what it's like to be a Black woman and a veteran, you know, and trying to pick up pieces and put a life together after that.
Yeah, I had to, you know, my again, I said before, you know, as a single mom, I was a single mom in the military. So and I have twin daughters. So I didn't have time to just sit and stew over what I needed to do. I immediately went into my survivor mode, and I created a plan to say, how am I going to use this military to better myself and also to propel my daughters to the next level? And so when I was razor sharp on that, that's all I focused on until I retired. And when I retired, then I had to find my way, and I had to find a way to transition out of that. And then once I did, all I wanted to do is just reach out to the community and tell everybody what I did in the hopes to, you know, save somebody, in order to impact somebody's life, in order to give somebody hope. Which is why, you know, I created Project Give Hope, which is why right now I'm one of the few executives in a veteran service organization that is a veteran, that is a female. And so I also carry that on my back every day, that no matter where I go out here and speak, I speak all across the country, that I lift women veterans up, because we weren't at the table. And it's very few times that I'm the only one female veteran at the table with men veterans talking about our issues. Well, how can you talk about my issues if you're not one?
Girl, we can apply that to almost anything. But I hear you.
Yeah. So it's important for me to do that. That's why I created these Rose events, so women can feel heard. Their stories can be heard. Their stories matter. Their lives matter. And all of that is included in the entire day.
Well, that's going to be amazing. I cannot wait.
Just need sponsors. Just need sponsors.
So, we are going to start wrapping up, but Cherissa, Rounds with Cherissa.
There you go. You got it.
I did. I'm just, anyway, how would a potential sponsor get in touch with you if they have something they want to contribute or donate, be it money or services or whatever, to help you organize the Rose event?
Yeah.
How do they find you?
Yeah, so they can reach out to me and email me at cjackson@amvets.org. They can also call our HEAL hotline, which is 833-VET-HEAL, or either just call AMVETS and say, hey, I need to get in contact with Cherissa. But to get in contact with me directly, just email me, cjackson@amvets.org.
Okay, so now we got a list of stuff for you.
Okay.
We need to find us the Black women vets so they can do their STEM stuff. We're going to find PTSD victims so they can get in touch with you. And we're going to keep you at undefeated.
Yeah.
And we need sponsors to help with your Rose events.
Exactly.
We covered it all. And then we need
Project Give Hope, if they want to help out with Project Give Hope, they can do that as well.
And we need some dark glasses so we can look at that blinged out award you got from the Vetties.
She is so bad for that. Let me tell you, it's a beautiful award, but it's really about why we got it. And
I know.
I'm just saying that's the reason why I smile so big. It's not because of how heavy it is and it's so pretty and so shiny.
Yeah.
It's because of what it's.
I just like joking about it.
I know you do. It's what it represents, and it's such. AMVETS has never won one. We've been in existence for 75 years. We actually got
75 years.
75 years.
We haven't gotten one in 75 years.
We've never gotten a Vetties. The Vetties only been around for 5 years anyway. So
okay. All right. Well, they get a pass.
We never gotten one. And we just at National Convention last year, we finally elected our first female national commander. It took us 75 years to do that. Yeah. So everything female veterans, we're trying to rock it out while she's in office. And, definitely want to reach out to as many female veterans in the community, let them know we're here, as well as all veterans, let them know that we're here. Okay.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on Beyond the Classroom. And you brought great information that applies to, all of our listeners and in some way, directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
And I'm just proud to say that, I had you on the show and that you're doing such amazing work. And I will definitely see you in March when you come down here to the Hampton Roads area.
Yes.
And thank you for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I do appreciate it.
All right. This is Dr. Trina Coleman, and you've been listening to Beyond the Classroom. And until next time.
We can talk forever.
Yes, we could.